Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to visit Troy, North Carolina. Now, it has a population of about 3,200 people and is the county seat for Montgomery County. It is the home of the Uwharrie National Forest and the first gold rush in the United States. It is located approximately halfway between Asheboro, North Carolina and Charlotte, North Carolina. My first stop on my way to Troy will be the Pisgah Covered Bridge. It is one of only two covered bridges that are still standing in North Carolina. Next, I will head down to Troy and visit the Uwharrie Mercantile, where I will chat with owner Dana Dawson. We will visit about Troy, her business, and future plans. Finally, I'm going to head into the depths of the Uwharrie Forest and learn about the first gold rush in our country's history. Okay, so that's the plan. So let's head on over to the Pisgah Covered Bridge and take a look around. Near the picnic tables, there is a trail that leads to the banks of the Little River. This path will take you to a footbridge that crosses to the other side and eventually circles back around to the parking lot. The total length of this walking trail is approximately a quarter mile. The Pisgah Covered Bridge is one of only two remaining covered bridges in North Carolina. At one time, there were more than 12,000 covered bridges in the United States. Today, there are less than 1,000. The purpose of a covered bridge is that it would extend the lifespan from 20 years to up over 100 years by sheltering the timber trusses from the rain and sun. Once we switched from timber trusses to iron trusses, these bridges became obsolete. The Pisgah Covered Bridge was built in 1911 and was rebuilt due to a flood in 2003. This bridge reminds me of a slower time in our nation's history, when these bridges connected farming communities across our countryside. Now that I've stretched my legs, with a nice relaxing walk around the park, it's time to head to our next stop, the town of Troy. Troy, North Carolina is a small town nestled in the middle of the Uwharrie National Forest. Troy is the county seat for Montgomery County, North Carolina. I usually stop at the Uwharrie Mercantile, which is located in the historic Hotel Troy building, which is now owned by the same people who run the Uwharrie Mercantile, Dana and Ray Dawson. They have big plans to turn this once empty building into a bustling center of activity and a focal point for downtown Troy. I sit down with Dana to discuss Troy, their future plans for the business, and the rest of the historic hotel. Hotel Troy is located in the Hilltop Business District on North Main Street and was built in 1908. It was built by a local physician named Dr. Alexander Thompson. Although it is known as the Hotel Troy building, it did not start as a hotel but was a clinic. Today, it is still the tallest structure in Troy. Now, Dr. Thompson served in World War I, and upon returning, he converted his medical clinic into a sanatorium. Now, in case you didn't know, a sanatorium is a medical facility for long-term illness, usually for the treatment of tuberculosis. After 1943, an antibiotic for tuberculosis was discovered. By the 1950s, tuberculosis was no longer a major health threat. Dr. Thompson made some significant changes to the building. In 1925, the nearby Allen Hotel was destroyed by fire, leaving a need for another hotel. Hotel Troy provided services for people visiting the courthouse, travelers from the nearby train station, and business people. Dr. Thompson renovated the sanatorium into a 30-bed hotel until 1950. With the advent of automobiles, new hotels were built in the area to accommodate travelers. The increased competition forced the hotel to close in 1950. It became a boarding house which operated until 1970. Well, I am here with Dana Dawson at the Uwharrie Mercantile in Troy, North Carolina. I wanted to talk to Dana about, learn a little bit more about Troy and about this building here specifically.
So the Dr. Thompson, that built this facility, it opened as a hospital for tuberculosis patients, or a sanatorium. So there was not a hospital facility in Troy at the time. So he felt that was a need. The space that is the coffee shop itself, that was a drugstore though, and it was a drugstore always. That was never part of the original hospital, even though he owned it. So he just built on top of these three spaces. So it opened as a hospital. And then in the early 1920s, he made the decision, because another medical facility had been built here locally in town. And he decided, hey, what we don't have is a really nice hotel, high-end hotel that would really benefit the business travelers. This area was known for textile production. We had the railway was behind us, the depot was back behind us, the building. So it just made perfect sense to go, let's have a hotel. The business travelers that are coming here, this is the county seat as well. Right. So a lot of things happened in Troy, North Carolina back in the day. And so it opened as a hotel in 1926.
Oh, okay.
Yep, 1926. So the conversion started from the early 20s to 1926. Some records say 25, some records say 26, but 1926. And it was operational as a hotel or a boarding house to 1970.
Hotel for lodging.
Yeah, so our vision would be, as Charles said, the second floor would be special event space, and we would have nightly stay rooms, so hotel rooms or Airbnb or whatever. And then the top floor, our goal would be apartments. Unless we have a huge need for hotel rooms, and then we would make the top floor hotel rooms too. But the third floor would be great apartments. We first bought this building, we had four things we were hoping to achieve. So we wanted a place to gather. We created that. This is the place to gather. A place to gather, a place to celebrate. So of course that's special event space. We serve that today. We host multiple events on this floor, as well as we have a space downstairs that's called Gather Off Main. Oh. And it seats about 50 people. So we host some events for celebration.
For a wedding or something like that?
Yes, or birthday parties or class reunions or bridal showers, whatever. We do many things in that space. Okay. A place to create, because again, this area is known for craftsmanship, heritage crafts. So we weren't sure if it'd be pottery or paint or what, but we have Uwharrie Mosaic that is downstairs, and they are a paint studio, so that you can come and do classes, or you can bring parties and paint, make all kinds of stuff. And then the last is a place to live. So that is the one we have yet to accomplish. So we got to figure that one out, but we're hoping we'll be able to make that happen. They say this county is the golden opportunity, and they say our streets are paved with gold because all the dirt, everything that was used to build these roads came from those mined areas. So people say that there's no telling what kind of gold is mixed in underneath this. And I'll share a number. You know, me being a business owner, you know, we do see the forest gets 1.2 million visitors a year.
Really?
People, that astounds people.
I'm surprised,
1.2 million visitors. So that allows, I mean, we have from just a tourist dollar base, that is a huge benefit to this county
Sure.
and to this town. Are there opportunities to continue to grow that and give those travelers additional amenities, things, additional things, which will be the growth that happens in Troy and other little towns around, is how do we continue to give those folks that come to the forest and do all these activities other places to go while they're here.
Right.
Here on Main Street, there is actually the Wade Arscott House, yellow house down on the opposite side of an Airbnb that you can actually stay in. As you head on 109 out to the forest, there's cabins that you can rent. They're called Uwharrie cabins.
Yeah.
So that gives you an opportunity, not bed and breakfast, but at least to have a bed and kitchen and bathroom. But they stay booked pretty regularly, so you have to check into those quickly. The only other bed and breakfast that would be close by to this area is in Star, and it's the Star Bed and Breakfast. A great old house, very unique. I mean, some fun room. Like there's one room that has a bathroom that has 2 tubs in it. Just oddities, things that's really interesting to go through that house. But the Uwharrie cabins are really nice. The cabins that are down off of 109. I don't know how many there are. There's probably 4 or 5.
Oh, by El Dorado.
Yes, down that direction.
Okay.
Yeah, those are really nice little
Do you
cabins.
pronounce it El Dorado or El Dorado?
El Dorado, per the locals. That's how you should say it. It is not El Dorado. I said that when I came here, and I got totally educated that it is El Dorado. So it'll be Discover Uwharrie. Okay. So we have the Uwharrie National Forest, the Uwharrie River, the Uwharrie Mountains, and it's going to give people exposure to all the things there are to do in the outdoors in the Uwharries, from bike trails, hiking trails, horseback riding, off-road vehicling, the rivers. So there's just multiple things to take advantage of, and this will allow you to experience it virtually, and then hopefully get you out in the Uwharries. So just our history. I'm not from Troy, North Carolina, so I moved here purposefully because this is such a great place to live. However, my father was from here, so I had connections to this town as a kid, spending summers and visiting grandparents. So we lived in Madison, North Carolina. So, great, quaint little downtown as well. I know Charles has done a ride through that area, beautiful. But we moved here because to be close to the Uwharries, my husband does a ton of adventure things in the forest based on the work that he does. And then a couple of years ago, we had a desire to see this old building turned into something that really honored its history, its heritage. We've been saying that for years. We'd love to see that. We never thought it would be us doing it. But then on a whim, we said, let's buy that building. And then we said, now what? What do we need to create to get people to come downtown and spend time downtown? So a coffee shop seemed right. And we created lots of different spaces. And as Charles said earlier, we have coffee and smoothies and all kinds of sweet treats that are all made locally. We have great local bakers that supply all of our sweet treats that we don't make in-house. And we do lunch Tuesday through Friday. So we have a little bit for everybody.
And you've got Karen's fried pies.
I have Karen's fried pies. And today she had fried cherry pies, and OMG.
Good.
Oh my God, it was a first. She hadn't done those this year because it's cherry season. Oh my God.
Does she do peach?
Yeah, but peaches, but peaches, she does everything seasonally because it's all fresh. All of her, every ingredient.
I noticed when I was riding through town over by the courthouse, I think, there was one of these signs that recently got put up. And it had mentioned that Andy Griffith's wife was from this area. And if you're not from North Carolina, you might not understand how Andy Griffith is revered in this state.
Oh my gosh. But his wife was from here, so he spent a lot of time here in Troy.
On the 3rd floor of this historic building, there is a beautiful old skylight that would illuminate the surgical room. Dana hopes to remove the flooring underneath this skylight so that it will be open to the 2nd floor. Then she plans on taking the old wrought iron balcony railings that were removed from the rear of the building and install them around this opening. Underneath the opening on the 2nd floor, she's going to install a bar. Personally, I think that this will be spectacular and a wonderful nod to the uniqueness and history of this building. I enjoyed my visit with Dana at the Uwharrie Mercantile. Next, I'm going to ride up past the El Dorado outpost. I plan on pulling off the road near a creek and hiking out to see if I can find some remnants of the old gold mines that used to dot this region. I will even try my hand at panning for gold while I'm there. Gold in North Carolina is primarily found in what is known as Carolina Slate Belt. The northern end starts around Granville, Person, and Caswell counties and extends to the southwest towards Union, Mecklenburg, and Gaston counties. In 1799, Conrad Reed, a 12-year-old boy, found a 17-pound gold nugget in a creek. The nugget was being used as a doorstop when somebody saw it and purchased it for $3.50. A few years later, the same family found a 28-pound nugget, but by this time they were a little wiser. Now knowing the value of the gold, they became wealthy mining their land. News quickly spread about the find, and the first gold rush in the United States was kicked off. At the point of this gold rush, there were more than 600 gold mines in North Carolina. Gold became the second largest industry in the state. The gold production in the state was approximately 1.1 million ounces worth of gold, estimated at a value of $25 million at historical prices. At current prices of $1,591 per ounce, it would be worth approximately $1.75 billion. In 1837, President Andrew Jackson built a mint in Charlotte, North Carolina, to press the gold found in the local mines into coins. The mint was located where the present-day courthouse stands in Charlotte. North Carolina led the nation in gold production until 1948, when California surpassed it. Company gold mining spread throughout the Uwharries, with at least 15 operational mines in the area before the Civil War. The two most noteworthy mines in the Uwharries were the Russell and Coggins mines. The Russell gold mine was one of the largest gold mines in the Uwharries, producing over 470 kilograms of gold. It was located near the town of El Dorado, named for the mythical city of gold. The Russell gold mine was a massive operation. Hundreds of men extracted about 70 ounces of gold from the mine each day. In some cases, the pockets of gold were so pure they didn't need refining. Men who worked the mines made 90 cents for a 12-hour workday, often with nothing more than a candle attached to their hats for light. They hand dug the largest pit in the Russell mine. The big cut was 60 feet deep, 300 feet long, and 150 feet wide. The Russell mine was an open pit mine, and it was one of the largest gold mines in the Uwharrie Mountains. The gold ore was mixed with the quartz rocks and had to be crushed to process the ore. The gold was eventually played out, and the expense of extracting it from the quartz made it too expensive to mine today. Though the mine operated off and on into the late 1800s, the mine had to close. There are no operating mines in the Uwharrie Mountains today. The nearby Coggins Goldmine, a mile northeast of El Dorado on the road to New Hope, operated off and on from 1882 to 1934 as one of the busiest in the area. Production size when active was considered to be small. Mine operations consisted of underground workings. There is one known shaft that reaches approximately 167 meters or 548 feet. The Coggins Gold Mine had a reputation for having more mining accidents than any other mine in North Carolina. One of the worst happened on payday. 3 men who worked the night shift hurried to leave the mine and collect their pay. They rode the ore bucket to the surface instead of using the ladder. Near the top, the ore bucket tipped over, and the 3 men fell out. They plunged to their deaths at the bottom of the 350-foot shaft. The miners lived in poor conditions. Dr. Thompson from Troy bought the first automobile in Montgomery County and would drive it to the mines to provide care to the miners and their families. Today, the Uwharrie National Forest is one of the better places for prospectors in the southeast to search for gold, because it is one of the largest areas of public land that is still gold-bearing. There are considerable rich locations throughout North Carolina, but most of them are on private land. To this day, you can still find people panning for gold in this area and finding trace amounts. This is also true for Person and Caswell counties, where many gold-bearing streams can be found. Well, thanks for sticking around until the end. This wraps it up for this video, and I hope you learned a little bit about our North Carolina story. Please leave a comment below. We would love to hear from you. There are 3 ways that you can support us in making these videos. First, and the easiest, click on the subscribe button, the like button, and ring that bell to be notified of future videos. A share to your Facebook page would be an awesome bonus. Second, visit our store at our website for an etched glass, t-shirt, or other merch. It's at www.thenorthstatebiker.com. Finally, you can support us financially by subscribing to our website. You will receive a discount at our store and additional content. Again, the website's at www.thenorthstatebiker.com. Thanks for watching.